All right, creatures, let's talk about night two of WrestleMania 40. Now, it was better than night one. We did start off with Stephanie McMahon coming out, letting everyone know this is the Paul Levesque era. Great. Good for y'all. Nice to see you, Stephanie. Now, first match of the night, we have Drew McIntyre versus Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship. Real talk. The whole entrances and everything was real nice from both of them. I really did enjoy those. However, this match, while it wasn't bad, actually I thought it was very intense in terms of which one of these guys are actually going to take the win here. The issue here is that this match was them hitting their finishers over and over. And that's a trend that was going on within WrestleMania, where it's just like, well, how many times am I going to hit my finisher on someone before it actually works? And to me, I did not like that. I'm not a fan of using a finisher a million times until it finally does the job. I wasn't 100% sure about who's going to end up taking the win. I kind of thought that, well, Seth Rollins, he needs a vacation. He and Becky, they can go on and have spent some time with each other and their child. So that would be a great thing for them. And Drew McIntyre, he's been working really hard lately. He's definitely made a lot of changes within his character. So it would be cool to see him take the win. And we do have, after the millionth Claymore, Drew McIntyre ends up taking the win, and I'm just like really happy for him, and I think he deserves it. Now, while he's over here celebrating, he has his wife ringside and everything. Everything seems to be really great, but then he turns his attention to CM Punk, who's been on commentary, and he's getting all in his face with the title and everything. And CM Punk is talking back at him, and they're just going back and forth or whatever. It was a little difficult to hear exactly what Drew McIntyre was saying, but it was easy to hear what Punk was saying because he had the headset on with the microphone, so we can hear what he's saying pretty well. Now, he was taunting CM Punk, and CM Punk ended up, sweeping his leg, and he ends up falling onto the announce table. And Punk takes off that brace that he's been wearing on his arm. And, here we have Drew McIntyre laid out in front of the announce table. Then here comes our boy, Damian Priest, who comes out and he said, I'm cashing. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm cashing. He cashes in, and he actually ends up taking the win with the South of Heaven. And I'm not going to lie. I wasn't ready for it. I really wasn't. I was just like, wait a minute. Have you read your DMs? I told you to cash on Cody, not on Drew or Seth. But whatever the situation is, I'm happy for Damian, but it really did catch me by surprise because in that moment, I was like, yes, Drew finally got it. I was happy for him. And for whatever reason, I just did not think about Damian cashing in or whatever. But this thing between CM Punk and Drew McIntyre is not finished. They got some unfinished business to do. So I'm interested to see where that ends up going. Congrats to Damian Priest. Up next, we had trios action. The Pride versus Final Testament. I don't care. This right here, I don't know. It really felt like this is a SmackDown match rather than something you see at WrestleMania. We had Bully Ray, Bubba Ray, whatever you want to call him. He is out and he is a referee. And I'm just like, bro, you sure you can keep up with the cardio here or what? Don't want to fat shame, but Billy definitely not in shape to be a referee. And that right there made me feel like, okay, I don't think I'm going to take this match seriously. It was interesting, street fight, but didn't really give street fight vibes. It's probably one of the worst street fights I've ever seen, to be honest with you. We did have the Pride, they pretty much had an advantage from the get-go. It just seems like Bubba was in for helping them win anyway. So we got to see them pretty much play and do things like the Dudleys would do. I mean, whatever. For nostalgic reason, it might make you feel some type of way. But altogether, this shit right here just didn't really matter. The Pride won. All right, you guys. So on to one of the better matches that they had for WrestleMania. LA Knight versus AJ Styles. Yep, you heard that. The match was pretty good, and they didn't even have any titles on the line. And I thought this was a better performed match out of both nights here at WrestleMania. My only complaint here was LA Knight. I didn't mind him taking the win. He ended up taking the win with a BFT, and for me, AJ was very, very close to the ropes. He could have possibly even put his foot outside of the ropes, and he could have grabbed the rope. I just felt like he was too freaking close, and it felt almost as if he just didn't put no effort into thinking, I am so close, let me reach for the rope. Like he had nothing left in him at that point. And for me, I kind of find that to be a little hard to believe. If this had been like closer towards the middle of the ring, I think I would have been a little happy about that. Maybe I'm just being a little nitpicky, but this is definitely one of the better matches out of WrestleMania. After this, we did have Kevin Owens versus Logan Paul versus Randy Orton for the U.S. title. For me, I just was like, Randy Orton with the U.S. title? I don't know. At this point of his career, I'm not sure. This Prime Energy drink thing, advertisement, I'm over it. We did have Kevin and Randy being buddy at first, taking on Logan Paul together. But obviously, when it comes to a triple threat match, you just can't be buddy throughout the whole match. So yes, they do actually end up wrestling each other. Real talk, some YouTuber was in a Prime bottle suit or whatever. I'm over it. Whatever. Logan ends up retaining. I don't have to commit to watching this shit. So definitely one of the best matches, Io Sky versus Bayley. I really did enjoy this one. Bayley, I've been wanting her to have some gold for quite some time, and it finally happened. Congratulations to her, but congrats to both of these girls for giving us a really great match, especially after I've been bored with WrestleMania all weekend. This one for me is definitely one of my favorites out of both nights. Now, honestly, I really do feel like if Io could have gotten up and celebrated with Bayley, she really would have. But we have characters to play out here, so she could not do that. But I'm pretty sure once they got to the back, it was nothing but smiles and hugs and congratulations. So that was really great to see. That match I actually do recommend watching. They did a tremendous job. But I don't want to spend too much time on this because we already got to talk about the main event, which was a movie in itself. The over-the-top entrances is exactly what I've been asking for WrestleMania. I want to see special stuff. Cody Rhodes had this big skull thing on his face that looked absolutely ridiculous. Whoever designed it, it was poor, very poor. It was giving, I bought this from Dollar Tree and I made something out of it. I didn't like it. But I know what he was going for. Just the execution of it. It's like, baby, ain't you a millionaire or something? Like, can you not get something better than this mask that you have? Whatever. The match, they're telling a story here, so it's moving slow. Bloodline rules. And real talk, the Bloodline rules, Cody and Seth was fighting not to have that in the match when it actually ended up being what helped him win. And while what we had with just Roman and Cody was great, we all knew that, hey, somebody's going to come out here and do something. First person to come out was Jimmy trying to hold it down for the Bloodline. But then Jay comes out and they start fighting on the ramp. And I think Jay speared Jimmy onto a table that was outside the ramp by the stage. And I was like, where was that intensity during our matches yesterday? You two had probably I don't want to say the worst WrestleMania match from these two nights, but they had definitely one of the worst, one of the most anticipated matches of this year. And we got nothing from that. But for them jumping into Roman's matches, they had like the most intensity going against each other. It was just very different. After this, we do have Solo who comes out. Solo is a real one. Everybody needs a Solo in their lives. He comes out there and he's really trying to help get the job done. But then bitch ass John Cena comes out and helps. He ends up getting Solo through the Spanish announce table, okay? And after that, he's over there fixing his man wig and everything to make sure that nobody sees his bald spot. Whatever, Cena, we already know you have a bald spot. Who the fuck cares? But then, here comes The Rock. And I'm not gonna lie, The Rock coming out, while I was over all this fiasco with everybody coming in, The Rock and Cena, while I don't want to see them in the ring again, I thought it was actually pretty refreshing to see these two in front of each other in the ring. I actually did not mind that as well. Now, Rock throws out the trash with John Cena, but then the lights turn off. The lights come back on. And it's Bay, my dead man, is in the middle of the ring, right behind The Rock, and ends up taking care of him too. Now, lights turn off and Bay is gone. Bay, obviously took the check. The check cleared and he went back home. So we continue here, and after the Undertaker coming out, it was just like, well, what more can you do? We did have, oh yes, how could I forget? Seth Rollins came out. Seth Rollins came out to the Shield theme, and he had the Shield outfit on. Now, here we have this point where it's Seth Rollins who is there, Cody Rhodes, and we have our Tribal Chief. And our Tribal Chief have a chair. He could easily go ahead and attack Cody with that chair, beat his ass several times with that chair, and go for the win to retain the title. But instead, he remembers when they were supposed to be brothers. He and Seth were supposed to be brothers, and Seth had betrayed him, 10 years ago? And he was like, bitch, I remember what you did. And he goes and attacks Seth Rollins with the chair. And at the moment, if y'all watching the watch along, I'm sorry for screaming in your ears, but I just kept saying, Roman, why are you even worried about this? Why aren't you focusing on Cody Rhodes? After the match, things started really, when you really sit there and think about it, it was just like, okay, Roman was really set on getting revenge. He's like, well, fuck Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes just won the title, but Seth, you were my bro. We were bros, and you betrayed me. And I'm really glad that this didn't come into play last night during their match. And this right here, I felt like, while everything felt like it didn't make sense with all these people coming in, when I really just wish they could have just one-on-one. If Cody Rhodes had won clean, I would congratulate him. But since he didn't, I'm not congratulating him on that. But them revisiting the betrayal of Seth Rollins, I thought that was a really, really nice touch. And they can leave the door open for these two to go at it at some point in the future. Cody Rhodes ended up taking the win because of that. And 3 crossroads after he had already given 50 of them throughout the match? What was up with them just keep doing finisher after finisher after finisher for so many of these matches, where it's like, damn, these finishers, it's a joke right now, where it's just like, they're not finishers anymore. When you have them play out so many times in these matches, I don't know. I don't think that's a good thing. But anyway, Cody Rhodes ends up taking the win. Good for you. Good for you. I did promise that the Cody Rhodes slander was going to be over after WrestleMania, and this is it for me. Am I watching Raw after WrestleMania? Absolutely not. I will wait until after it's over to check it out, because Raw after Mania last year was a complete waste of time. You guys already knew. They probably had 30 minutes of wrestling. Triple H talking for 30 minutes about how happy he was with WrestleMania. And it was just a whole bunch of foolishness. And the only thing that really paid off was at the very, very end of the show when Brock Lesnar had attacked Cody. And the reason why I like that is not simply because I'm not a Cody Rhodes fan, but because they gave us something different. We were supposed to see a tag team match, which I can't even remember was the last time we saw a tag team action from Brock Lesnar. But then it turned into an attack. And I thought that was pretty unpredictable. So that was the only thing that was worth it. This year, I don't know what's going to end up happening. I don't want to see Cody Rhodes in the ring crying, giving a promo for 30 minutes or whatever. I just want to see a really good show. And I'm actually interested to see what they would do with Damian Priest. Overall, you guys, this year WrestleMania could have been so much better. A lot of disappointments, a lot of weird shit, but there was some good stuff too. So if you want to check it out and you haven't checked it out, lucky you. You don't have to sit through it live. You can skim through whatever you don't want to watch. But guys, thanks so much for watching my review. The next time you hear me talk about WWE is the next PLE. I'm not doing Raw and SmackDown or whatever. Just whatever. Go ahead and check it out if you haven't. I'll be back with my AEW, Ring of Honor, And yes, I'll be live for New Japan Windy City Riot for Friday. I think that's going to be a great pay-per-view. Bye.